So guys, Manny Pacquiao has urged his son to stop boxing. Obviously, when you see your father achieve so much in a sport and he's an icon and he's a legend, you know, he has the passion. He said to his father, listen, I have the passion, just like boxing was a passion for you. It's the same for me. I want to box. It's always difficult for a father to let their son start boxing, you know, especially when you've been a boxer, because you know how hard this sport is. You know the politics behind this sport. And of course, you know, Manny Pacquiao's son will definitely get a leg up because Manny Pacquiao's his father. You know, just like Chris Eubank's son did. You know, Nigel Benn. You know, he'll be very famous. He'll already have a leg up. You know, it won't be like his father where he'll have to work his way up. He'll have that leg up because of his dad. So, you know, he's at an advantage. So if he's got talent, it will definitely come out. But the problem is that a lot of people would look at Manny Pacquiao's son and there'll be a lot of pressure on him because a lot of people will be expecting him to be like his father. And when your father was a legend, you know, we saw it with Chavez. Chavez's son couldn't live up to his dad's name, you know. It's very difficult when your dad's been an 8-division world champion for you to live up in that. You know, it's just impossible, you know, for you to live and kind of live up to those expectations. It's not gonna be possible. So even if you're a little bit worse than that, people are gonna have oh, he's not as good as his father. You're always going to be compared to your father because it's going to be very difficult for you to surpass your father, especially when your father's Manny Pacquiao and he's achieved in the sport what he's achieved. It's going to be very difficult for his son. But I think that aside, I think Manny Pacquiao doesn't want his son to box because his mom doesn't want him to box because it's a dangerous sport. I think his mom remembers a time when, you know, her husband was knocked out against Juan Manuel Marquez and he was literally on the floor. And on that point, honestly, I'm not exaggerating. I was fearful of Manny Pacquiao's life. So I can't imagine what his wife, you know, someone that's so close to him, was feeling at that point, seeing her husband out like that. Because that was a horrible knockout. That's one of the worst knockouts I've seen. You know, this guy was out for a long time. And it was a bad knockout, you know, against Juan Manuel Marquez. It was a devastating knockout. So, you know, it's a lot worse. You know, your mother doesn't want to see her son be knocked out like that, and her father doesn't want to see his son knocked out like that. So, you know, and that's the dangers with the sport. That can happen. So I understand why a father that's boxed wouldn't want his son to go into the sport. Chris Eubank said the other day in an interview that he didn't want his son to box. But what he mentioned is that, you know, when you tell them not to do something, they go and do it, but they do it even more. And that's probably the same with Pacquiao's son. You know, Pacquiao and his wife are probably telling him not to box, but, you know, he's probably thinking that just like this was your passion, this is my passion. You know, when you've seen your father box all his life and been around boxing all your life, you know, you probably have the urge to want to do it as well. And then when all of his friends are probably saying, oh, your dad's a legend, your dad's this good, he wants to follow in those footsteps, he wants to start boxing. So I understand why Pacquiao doesn't want his son to box, because the politics and the danger of the sport, even though I don't think his son's going to have to go through the politics that his father may have had to, because just because of how big his father has become and the name that he's got, his son won't have to go through the politics. But I think Manny Pacquiao's main reason is the dangers in the sport. It's the danger, you know, it's the training, the hard work, the sparring, you know, the fights. It's a tough sport. So, you know, when you've lived it and breathed it like Pacquiao has, you know how tough it is. And you probably don't want your loved one to be in that dangerous environment. No one wants their loved ones to be in a dangerous environment. And obviously Pacquiao knows by his son fighting, he's going to be in a dangerous environment. So I understand why Pacquiao's a bit wary. But if his son wants to do it, he's going to do it. And who knows, his son might go on to achieve more than his dad. It sounds impossible. It's going to be impossible to do because Pacquiao, what he achieved in the sport is incredible. But you never know, right? You know, he might have the same genes. He might have them quick hands. We just don't know. We've got to see him fight. And who knows, Manny Pacquiao Jr. might just end up being an all-time great as well. But leave your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think about Pacquiao not wanting his son to fight. And guys, remember to please like, share and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video.